Your, I guess, biggest takeaway from the last 2 weeks? What kind of pleased you most, I guess?
How guys responded to each situation. I said one of the most valuable moments of the trip was going to be when we stumbled. How did guys respond to it? Played a really tight game against Arkansas, and I love how the guys responded to it the next day. And even right after the game, it was just togetherness. We battled. We learned a lot from this game. Let's make sure we make adjustments real quick tomorrow. And even, one thing, I had mentioned this before, one thing that really impressed me about Caraway is he took a bad read on a pop-up and he didn't give up. Some guys watch the ball land behind him, other guys go after it and get dirty, trying to, do whatever they can, not worried about what the look is, just getting the job done. And it told me a lot about that young man. It's nothing that most people didn't already know. He's a competitor. He's going to do whatever it takes to win. He's a gamer. And so saw a lot of that from our position players and our pitchers. I think there's obviously a few things that we need to continue to sharpen up. Just being like stuff on the base pass, our catch play continuing to get better. I know there's a lot of good that came from it, but it's not going to stop us today from going to practice and making sure we stay humble and continue to push forward, because it's still very early in the season, and the team that stops making adjustments, the coaching staff that stops serving one another and their players as opposed to worrying about themselves, that's an issue. And I think that's our main objective, is looking around us and making sure that everyone's in a good space.
Sounds like Aiden not going to throw this week, just kind of more precautionary than anything. What led into that decision, and just how would you assess where he's at?
Well, it's early. I think for a lot of our guys right now, as we're trying to make sure that we're peaking at the right time of the season. It's chilly, and getting back home and not trying to rush anything. Got a couple guys that just maybe have a few dings or what have you, and I'd rather look around and say this is a great opportunity for other guys to get out there and play. Dallas Macias jumped in, got some playing time last couple days when Casper just had a little nick, and we're just making sure the guys are progressing. I don't want to put anyone at risk. I think that's the biggest thing, is the mental and physical health of our guys. And we all saw what kind of electricity came out of May's arm last week. What a great pitching duel that was. So just having some tightness and stuff, we just want to make sure that we're not rushing back to anything. Let's play catch, let's stretch it out, just make sure that we're going about it the right way, as opposed to saying, hey, it's week 3 of the season, let's get out there and throw 100 pitches and roll with it. So just, we're going to take our time on it. He's not the kind of guy, or any of our guys really, especially Aiden, that want to take their time on anything. They want to attack it right now. So I guess I get to be the one pulling the reins and being the bad guy.
Was there any medical testing required, like an x-ray or MRI or anything, or did you guys just evaluate him?
How you feeling, big guy? Okay, good. Well, here's how I see things and where we're going to go with it. So really just getting back from the road trip. We'll get out there today and move around. And, I think the biggest thing, Monday we traveled, so Tuesday was off, and today, we'll shake off some of the cobwebs from sitting around. Hopefully guys finished up a lot of their classwork, getting back on track with all that stuff. But we're just gonna, I don't think any of that stuff is necessary, like to jump into it and start worrying too much. Let's just take our time with it and see how the body's feeling. You're not trying to overanalyze anything. I think it's just, again, precautionary. But I know how a lot of people can read into everything a little too much, just if they don't know. And obviously I'm quite protective of these young men and whatever they got going on. And but see how today goes.
So tentative target for Aiden is to return next week against Cal State.
Always it's after taking a couple days of just relaxing and making sure that the throwing progression is what's important. We'll see how this weekend goes for him, and also for the other guys throwing. Again, I look at it as a great opportunity for the guys that are taking the bump to get out there. We went into the season knowing we had a lot of guys that we felt really good about throwing lots of innings. So kind of curious to see how those starts go. It's an opportunity for them. Next couple home series, I know he's wanting to get out there and throw, especially in front of our fans here at Goss. But I think a lot plays into it, especially with the weather. if it's going to be raining a little bit, and sometimes you put a guy out there and he throws one inning and then the rain, you're sitting down for a little bit and getting back up. So just being very cautious of those things too. I don't know if I'll necessarily announce anything.
We'll talk to you again next week.
Yeah, we will.
How will you approach the week? I kind of was thinking Jaron might go tomorrow, but do you have that laid out?
Yeah, we just finished discussing that. Lawson will go tomorrow, Thursday. Hunter will throw Friday. And then Komatsu and Segura, that's our plan as of right now. And but then again, these guys all want to throw at any given time. Hunter not throwing last weekend. Segura and all those guys going long. It put us in a good spot knowing, hey, what could possibly happen this week and what kind of spots need to get filled. So Jaron will be real fresh for Friday, which we're excited to see. And I know he's excited to pitch in front of Goss fans.
What were your emotions after Joey's return, that first game?
I think everyone just wanted to give him a big hug. You see the excitement on his face, and then getting to do it again, in the Rangers Big League Stadium. I know that was an exciting moment for him. You could just tell, but he's trying to push all that away and just, hey, what's my job? What can I go do for the guys? I think getting that first one out of the way was big, filling up the strike zone. Landing his slider, throwing some heaters, some really competitive heaters in the zone too. It's nice, especially finishing out the game. Something about, regardless of what the score is, finishing out the game and going through the line and, giving some love to the catcher and dabbing it up with the guys. I think there's a lot of power to that, especially for a guy that's going to throw some big pitches for us this year.
What do you feel like your lineup took away from facing Hagen Smith on Friday?
Making adjustments. I mean, he was dialed. He was hitting all of his spots. He's going 99 and all the way from the far side of first base.
Yeah.
So he had a good vertical approach angle. It's velocity. Slider was sharp. He was dotting down the zone. But regardless, striking out that many times, regardless of who it is, and I think just opens everyone's eyes. Okay, we got to keep training. We got to prepare for this thing. Are we going to face him again? I don't know. I think everyone walked out of that game and said, we do want to face him again. We want to face, all the best arms out there. So it's going to make us better. And the guys love the challenge as opposed to hoping for something less than that, which is exciting. But just making adjustments, going up there with a plan, understanding if the guy's throwing 100 miles an hour, you can't cover the entirety of the plate. And you have to be ready. You have to have a good move with your hands. And you start too early, you're going to be susceptible to swinging something down and out of the zone. But I think the guys are going to use that, especially now they're home. They can use the cage to drive it forward. Their approach, preparing for that guy, preparing for guys like him. Just like last year, the guys were upset we didn't get to face Skeens. The best pitcher in the country, they want to face it, that's a very positive thing to have.
Do you guys have a way of replicating that kind of stuff to practice against?
Yeah, I throw left-handed from 5 feet away, and I still couldn't throw that hard. Hard to replicate that kind of stuff, but a lot of times it's angled BP, using the machines, especially with really spinning it to have guys have to get on top and getting on time. Coach Gibson sets together a really good plan for our hitters, challenging them, making sure they're feeling good with the basics, but also putting together some stuff that's out of the ordinary and just testing how we're going to respond to it. So a good mix of both, but hard to replicate that as we don't have any coach on staff that goes deep like that.
Do you guys have a way of getting one of those traject machines? The one the big leaguers
You're gonna
have?
make a donation or for us?
You got machines though you use.
We have quite a few machines. Yeah, we have jugs and hacks and line them up from every different angle and close, up, down, you name it. But I have seen a lot of those projector machines, and I think there's some use to it. But we got plenty of other gadgets that we use, and I think it just depends on the guy on what situation or what tools we're going to use for him.
Hey, with Brady, I assume he kind of hurt his ankle there, colliding with Oz out in that pop fly. Is that accurate?
No collision or anything like that. Just more so like a little catch in the turf.
Oh, okay.
But he's already responded really well, and I know he's going to be pushing me to be back in the lineup.
You envision he'll play this weekend at some point?
See how it goes around the day. I'll probably be pretty hard on him as I always am, especially with our older guys. I try to, really see. I mean, I know Brady's going to be like following me around and angry at me.
Dogging you.
Yeah, let me know. Like, put me in.
Well, he
And-
got a 6-game hitting streak, and then you yank him.
Yeah, you gotta keep him humble, right?
And then the sophomore comes in, he's in the cleanup hole all of a sudden. Now what's he doing back there?
It's
You
good.
know.
Low competition. It's good.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
All right,